So I wanted to make a passive 2-channel mixer where it would take 2 audio inputs and combine them into one audio output. So I designed and had this case 3D printed. You can see that there are 2 holes in the top for 2 potentiometers, 2 holes on the side for the inputs, and then 1 hole on this side for the output. And this will go on the bottom and cover everything. Make sure you don't shock yourself or anything. These are the potentiometers I'm going to be using. They are B50K, which means that they have a linear taper, and the resistance between the outer contacts is 50 kiloohms. A linear taper potentiometer isn't ideal for an audio use case, but it's what I have and it's what I'm going to use. You can see that the potentiometers here have this little bump, and in the case I designed there to be that little notch right there. What that's used for is if you put the potentiometer in there, it prevents the potentiometer from spinning inside of the case. Obviously you can still turn the shaft on the top there, but the housing of the potentiometer is going to stay put. And then there's 2 potentiometers, one for each audio input. And then what you can do is you put the washers and the nuts on. And then these nuts are a 10mm drive, and there you got the potentiometers. As for knobs, I designed and had these manufactured. I ordered these set screws. They're a 1024 thread, and there's 3/16 of an inch long. And you put that on there and then tighten the set screw, and it should be locked onto the shaft of the potentiometer, like so. And there we have 2 knobs. We have these. I ordered these. These are 5 Puretone TS audio jacks. So we just cut these open. And here are the audio jacks. And obviously the reason that there's 2 nuts is so that you can adjust it to make sure that there's minimal stick out, and you can see it looks nice in there. Now, I didn't think of this before, and right now is when I'm going to test it out, but I don't know if the other ones will actually fit when they're all in there. We'll just have to see. They appear to be very close. I may be able to rotate these, such that the contacts are as far apart as possible. Once you got all of those in there, you just put the back on, and then I have these screws. I have no idea where these came from, so I'm probably not going to be able to source any more of them, but I have 8 of this particular type of screw, and obviously there's 4 screw holes on the back here, so in case I wanted to make another piece of equipment or something that was in the same form factor as this, I could. And except for the audio jacks, that is pretty much what the completed 2-channel passive mixer should look like. I'm going to make all the electrical connections in here, and then I'll get back to you. So I got this all soldered up, and if we look on the inside, you can see I made it so the wires were all going where they need to be. I'm not going to delve into the specific electronics, but I found this blog of a guy that was making something very similar to this, a passive 2-channel mixer with 2 potentiometers, and he provided a wiring diagram for what he did. I'll link that in the description so you guys can check it out. Now that this is all buttoned up, I'm going to put the cover back on and screw it back in, and there we go. Now we have one complete 2-channel passive mixer, and I'll test this out now to make sure everything works alright. So, to showcase that this piece of equipment actually works, what I've done here is attached this to my reverb, which is going into my amp. This black cable leads to my guitar, as you can see. And this blue cable leads over here to my bass. So I'm just going to turn everything on here. So the amp is on. Turn all these to max. So I can play the guitar, and I can play the bass. I don't know if you can hear that. And I can play them both at the same time, and I can create a mix of both of these. So there you go. Thanks for watching.